Lovely, thank you for joining. So right away, let's go into flexion and extension of the spine. Now, if I say to you, we're going to do 20 rounds of this, you might be a little bit kinder, more gentle, going through a forward fold and a stretch up. Sometimes if we think, oh, we're going to only have 1 or 2 rounds, we need to go to our end range of movement. Try to cut that out. And let's not have a fixed idea of the shape or how deeply we're trying to go. I just want you to have a go at folding forward, rolling up through the spine and stretching overhead. So we're deepening the breath, wakening up the body, head to toe, taking our time. So today we're going to think a little bit about adding rocking or a sense of rocking into our movements. So that we are starting, maybe just for these 30 minutes, we can switch for the whole 30 minutes to our parasympathetic nervous system. So we're in that healing, restorative mode where we're still moving continuously for 30 minutes, but we're just easing ourselves. So we're kind of flowing from one movement to another without trying to achieve a particular shape. So the last couple of rounds, opening the body and folding the body. And then in a similar vein, take it nice and slowly without a fixed idea of how much we're stretching. We'll take the arms to the side, deep breath up and over, and it's a very minimal side bend initially, back the other way. So we're gradually adding in a side bend, just feeling our way around, side to side. So let's keep changing the direction so we're even left and right. Thinking about the arms as being like a windmill, floating the arms wide, so that without trying to stretch to the side wall, without trying to bend and look at the wall behind you, just repetition and being gentle and flowing, kind of rocking as if side to side. We'll end up getting deeper, but we're mobilizing the body, we'll get more flexible without that forcing. I think we've got to be careful when we talk about, especially in yoga, because sometimes we hear this phrase, going into the full expression of a posture. Well, actually, for many of us, if we're not ex-dancers, hypermobile, gymnasts, there are some postures that we'll actually never do and we never should do. So let's just feel our way through this gentle side bend. You see, you're working your hips, you're strengthening the legs. We're moving the head, so the neck's getting a gentle mobilization. Let's finish off on this. One more, just to even yourself out. Nice and flow, so the limbs are heavy. So we've done flexion extension, we've done a gentle lateral flexion of the spine. Now for a twist, and again, no fixed idea how far you're going to go. Let's set up the legs as if we're going to take a trikonasana. So let's have the right toes pointed forwards, the left toes out to the side. Now let's first of all just practice coming up onto the ball of the foot and twisting so that the knee points down to the floor and return. So with that movement in the lower leg, we've got the knee tracking over the toes. Maybe we can start to turn the body to the side wall and then return. Now let's make this nice and flowing and smooth. Not worrying about how far we're going to go, we're just keeping to the same side each time. So the arm heavy, shoulders relaxed, gliding into a twist and returning, maybe a little bit of a back flow. And we can gradually get deeper if we're ready, but we're feeling our way. If we think about where the spine goes up, it's almost as high as the ears. We can start that twist in the spine from the head, looking over the shoulder. The shoulders turning, the ribs, the tummy button to the back wall, and naturally the lower leg will adjust. A nice, easy flow of breath in and out of the nose. Maybe the arms start to wrap around the body, but just feeling a lovely opening of the spine, flowing movement, nice and soft through the arms, shoulders, all of the joints involved. A couple more times to this direction. So you see, without just repetition, feeling your way through the twist, we'll end up getting deeper and deeper, maybe even taking a bit of a stretch to see where it takes you. Let's hop the feet together and just reset, coming into a nice position of symmetry, and then we'll set up to the other side. So this time, left toes pointing forwards, right toes out to the right wall, and let's just practice this movement so we protect the knee. So we come up onto the ball of the foot, and then dial the hip down, and then replace. So we can gradually add a nice soft movement into the upper body. And have a go at twisting initially from the knee, then the navel, then the ribs, then the shoulders and the gaze. So feeling your way through a twist from the bottom up and from the top down. Just feeling your way back and forwards without stressing, without trying to reach anywhere in particular, just finding softness through the body. Nice healthy spine. And we're moving continuously, mindfully. So last couple of times on this side. So the idea of rocking, I mean, this is something that we actually do naturally. If you think about when we're in a state of stress and we're in that sympathetic nervous system, keep going, just don't stop because I've stopped. And we're in that kind of blinkered, focusing on a stress, something that's bothering us, the amygdala in the brain, threat, what's this, all the stress. By rocking, it's almost like I like to think of it as if we're blurring the vision and we're not focusing on one particular thing. It's just a nice, gentle, more open perspective, flowing. Okay, the last time to this side, so you can just feel your way into it, maybe going a little bit deeper, but just feeling a yummy, yummy stretch, and then come out. Again, kick the feet into the bottom. You can give the hips a little bit of a rub here. Rolling down through the spine, we're going to take it in turns to bend one knee and then the other, just to stretch out the hips. Chin to chest, flexing from the top down. Feeling the heaviness coming into the head, the shoulders, feeling sensations down the spine. Only a gentle stretch of the backs of the legs. You can bend the knees as much as you want. And then once we're down in a forward fold, take a deeper bend into one of the knees and feel that stretch, yumminess in the opposite hip. And then the other side. Sinking into that opposite hip. And then coming center, rolling up through the spine, ready for a wide leg fold and chest opener. Legs nice and wide, feet slightly turned out. Chin to chest, round down. And we can have a soft bend in the knees, fingertips to the floor, fists or a flat hand, but we're holding the left shoulder and same flowing, nice, easy movement. Elbow to the floor, breathe in, open the elbow to the ceiling, and lower. Stick with this side. See if you can add a little bit of a sway in the hips, so that instead of isolating, straining one particular part of the body, or thinking about going at a particular pace, just feel a lovely pendulum movement through the body. So we get in a thigh stretch, we're working the postural muscles of the chest, breathing deeply. See, if you have your balance and you feel confident, close the eyes and try and find a nice gentle sway. So this idea of rocking, you know, when we sometimes feel we want to go in a darkened room and rock. Well, actually, this is what the body needs. Okay, we're going to bend the knees and switch to the other side. Your other hand, fist, fingertips to the floor. Support the other shoulder and take the chest opening to the other side. Any stress in your neck, let the head dangle down. Feel that sway, the gentle, like a wave, the weight flowing from one foot to the other. Nurturing the shoulder, giving it a little bit of a squeeze as we move. So swaying the hips, mobilizing the hips, strengthening the legs. Continuous rhythmic movement, very calming for the nervous system. Last time, both fingers to the floor, bend the knees, we come up through a squat and stand up tall. Brilliant. We'll start now with more targeted stretches, right heel to the floor and fold. We can give a squeeze to the back of the leg if there's particular tightness in the calf muscles of the back of the legs. Tightness in the hips, get your fingers in there and give it a good squeeze. Okay, our counter stretch, that's for the back of the leg. Let's stretch the front of the leg, hold the wall or back of a chair if you need to. If you don't, hold the foot with both hands, open the chest, send the knee to the floor, and let's find a stretch from the top of the hip right down to the knee. Squeeze the glutes, tilt the pelvis under till we iron out the gap, the crease at the top of the leg. The same leg, the right leg, place it behind. Squeeze the knees into each other, squeeze the glutes together, tilt the pelvis, right leg back, right arm lifts, and take a stretch up and over. Fabulous, lovely. We're sticking with the same leg to come briefly into a tree. So same with the right leg. Either hip opening with the ball of the foot on the floor, the arch around the calf, or the heel into the groin. But it's the hip opening, there's your benefit. Finding your balance, pressing the thumbs into the chest bone, shoulders back and down. Now root down to rise up through the body, shoulders back and down, chin parallel to the floor. Try to feel the back of the head in line with the back of the pelvis. Now see if you can find some stillness here for a moment after all that swaying continuous movement, just trying to find some stillness here while I talk to you about the swan. So the thumbs in front of the body here. Let's see if we can take a reverse prayer, which is the same position behind the back. If that doesn't work, open the hands so that like an open book with the little fingers reaching towards each other. From here, we're taking the knee back into the front of the body, bending both knees, open the elbows so they're trying to reach each other, and we come into a swan. So I'm trying not to think about any particular level, but if we keep both knees soft, maybe we tap the back toes down, and we work on the chest opening, long spine, and the weight, we're strengthening the ankle of the standing leg. Maybe we come forwards a little bit through the chest, but just finding some stillness here. So look at something that's not moving. Try to keep the shoulders down. Breathe deeply. We'll find some stability by drawing the front ribs together and tummy bottom back to the spine. Long neck. And release out. Shake out that standing leg that's done all the work, and then we'll straighten out the leg. Hamstring stretch first. Plant the ball of the heel of the foot, hips square, and we can start to fold over the leg. No forcing, no locking out the knee. Giving a good squeeze. Patience. Stillness here. Breathing deeply. Let's take the stretch into the front of the leg. Catch hold of the toes. Find a stability, a wall. Maybe the arm out wide. That can sometimes help. Knees quite close together. Tilt the pelvis under so that we stretch the front of the hip. Look at something that's not moving. Drive the knee towards the floor and rise up through the body. Stretch in front of the hip. Same leg, place the foot behind. Straighten both legs, knees pressed into each other, glutes strong. The back leg, corresponding arm up and over. Nice deep breath, stretching into the fingertips. And then let's find that tree. Hip opening, external rotation of the hip, ball of the foot, finding length here, long spine. So feel the ribs lifting out of the pelvis lifting out of the thigh bone. Find where you feel comfortable or challenged. Hands pressed together. So with 10 fingers, tension in the whole of the hand, thumbs pressing into the chest. We've got the chest opening, knee opening out to the side in a thigh stretch, long spine, long neck. So thinking ahead, we can adjust the hands and find what position we're comfortable with. Either way, open book or a hidden prayer, all good. So if we stop and take a nice bend in the standing leg, and we just work with balance here, just coming forwards and up to standing, and just find something that's not moving. Maybe we start to push the little fingers into the spine so we get more of a chest opening, elbows as if trying to reach towards each other. Long spine, so we're trying to avoid any rounding of the back here. Strengthening the ankle of the standing leg. Soft jaw. No, we don't hold it for long, so just trying to work with it. We can tap the back toes down to help. Take some of the intensity out. And then see if you can calmly, slowly return back to standing, and let's shake out that leg. Amazing. We're going to do the round of sun salutations that we didn't have time to do yesterday. So, come to the front of your steps. Standing tall in your Tadasana. You've had enough of my face, so there we go. So let's start with the toes pointing forward, squeeze the glutes, tilt the pelvis, roll the shoulders back and down. On an in-breath, take the arms overhead and stretch. As you breathe out, press the air down, come into a fold. Breathe in for a halfway lift. Breathe out, right leg steps back, and we're taking a knee lunge. Lower the knee. Keep the right hand on the floor and lift the left arm, chest opening. Twice more, lower the arm, and then breathe in, open the chest, look up. Slow flow. The next time, we're going to take a lift in the upper body and hold this front knee. Now, by turning our chest over that lifted knee, we might be able to take a little bit of a twist, having taken that flow gently, finding a twist in the spine. I'm using my back hand to support the lower back. Now, options here. You can gently feel a minuscule, like a micro flowing twist here. So as if you're coaxing a little bit of movement into the spine. Feel like your obliques, the waist is just working, minimal movement. But rather than static and clenching, we'll keep a little bit of movement going in the spine. Option to tuck your toes under at the back and send your heel to the back wall and lift the knee. So a more intense twist. Breathing, barely perceptible movement, just feeling that squeeze in the glutes, openness in the chest, and only if you feel you want to, taking an open movement with the arms. Breathing deeply, last few rounds. Nice soft jaw, lower the knee, hold the knees, and to make this movement much smaller if you wish. Well done. Hands to the floor, lower your back knee if it's lifted, and come to all fours. A knee plank, shoulders back and down. Drop the hips till we get a straight line from the knees to the crown of the head. Options take a high plank if you wish. Now, eyes of the elbows pointing forward, shoulders down. Feel a small lowering of the chest towards the floor, but keep a long line in the spine. Press through 10 fingers and the heels of the hands, back up. Small, it's a halfway press up. Maybe you just lower a centimetre. The intention and moving with strength is everything. Another 2 of those while I demonstrate fingertips, spider tip cobra. We're coming all the way down to the belly. Fingertips out in line with the shoulders, so the shoulder blades lift and you can draw them down to the waist. If that's too intense, maybe lower the hands more chest height. And we squeeze the glutes, lengthen through the legs, and let's together rise up, but think about the top of the head coming forwards, slowly lowering down. So you can let the head hang and make this all about the arms, shoulders, upper back. As you rise now, can you try to focus on the upper back so that we start to feel a little bit lighter in the fingertips? You may not come up as far, but we're starting to focus and strengthen the upper back. Last couple here, and then it will feel like a rest when we take a down dog. Option always to take a child pose also. So when you're ready, hands under the shoulders, tuck the toes under, lift the hips high and take a down dog. But as I said, there's a child pose there for you if you wish. Enjoy a couple of breaths here in down dog, shake out the head. If you're taking a child pose, this has got similar effects to any kind of rocking rhythmical movement, in that we're kind of closing off the senses, the head's down, we're closing off what we can smell, taste, see, even the hearing in that child pose. It's got that same sense of just closing off, and rather than having a heightened awareness of the senses. Wherever you are, down dog or child pose, coming back up, we're stepping the right foot to the front, pausing just to stretch out that back leg in that yummy runner lunge, and we come to the front of the mat. We've got the other side to go. Straight up through the legs, reverse swan dive, the arms up overhead, hands meet, and return at heart center. Left side. Breathe in, open the chest wide, press into the toes, look up, reverse swan dive the arms, and come into a fold. Taking a halfway lift, feeling that length in the spine. We're stepping your left leg back to a knee lunge. Let's keep the left hand on the floor and lift the right arm, chest opening. A few more rounds here. I won't say a number because we want to just feel a chest opening. Maybe you just make one last the whole time. Continuous movement, no fixed idea, not being too prescriptive about this, just feeling a nice opening in the chest. That's preparation for coming up into this knee lunge and taking a twist, maybe leaning on the front thigh and turning your chest to the wall behind. Backhand is free to support the lower back. Nice deep breath. Try to now feel length from the base of the spine to the crown of the head. We have the option of tucking the toes under at the back and charging that back heel to the back wall to lift the back knee. Breathing deeply. So here we can start to add on a movement for the arms, or we can just take that minuscule twist. The knee can be down. We can open the back arm. Nice flow though, try not to go to your edge or go to your furthest point, just feeling a nice flowing movement. Even using the hand like a paintbrush so that all of the whole body just becomes one continuous wave of movement. Last couple here. Hands to the floor, step back to a plank. We're coming straight down to our cobra. Elbows into the waist, chaturanga if that's your vinyasa. come down to the floor, fingers out wide, shoulders back and down, the gaze stays down, point the toes, tilt the pelvis. With the pubic bone pressed into the floor, taking a few lifts through the chest, just to feel the movement. And then we want to try to reduce the effort in the arms and feel that engagement in the upper back. The head can hang, no stress in the neck. We want to try to keep the chest opening forwards, finding length over height. As if you're squeezing a pencil between the shoulder blades. Let's take a down dog. Tuck the toes, lift the hips high, pedaling it through. And we can take a little hip sway here, side to side. And then bending the knees, look at the hands. Let's step the left foot to the front, help it into place if it doesn't find its way first time. Come to the front of your mat, nose on the knees. And this time we're coming all the way down to the floor. Sit back and take a full body stretch. Arms overhead, link the thumbs, stretch through the legs. Lower the arms. We're coming up for the hundreds. Hold behind the knees, shoulders back and down. Now leaning back, find that engagement in your core. Tummy bottom back to the spine, close the front ribs. Lift your pelvic floor. Now feel length in the spine, openness across the chest. See if we can float the legs up. Find a little bit of stillness. And now, arms by the side of the body. Do extend the legs into a full boat if you can. But let's gently pat 2, 3, 4, 5 palms up. 2, 3, 4, 5. Down, 2, 3, 4, 5, and up. 2, 3, 4, 5. Carry on. So we're patting down and up, just so we get that nice movement, internal, external rotation of the shoulders. And also we're finding that gentle rhythm. If you can, match a phase of the breath with 5 pats. So maybe breathe in, 2, 3, 4, 5. Breathe out, 2, 3, 4, 5. So on many levels, we've got this kind of rhythmical pattern. So it's almost like we're tricking the brain into a little bit of a trance. I'm distracting you from your distress with my chatter. We're nearly there. I mean, 100 is very arbitrary. I mean, Joseph Pilates could have chosen any number at all. So let's not get too stressed that I've lost count. We're just breathing. We're doing this together. Keeping the shoulders soft, your jaw, with your teeth slightly parted. No stress there. Think a smile. We can add on any gentle movement here at all. Maybe you're struggling to keep your arms lifted, maybe hold the backs to the knees and take a gentle sway. Nice deep breath, still just finding a rhythmical movement, whether it's through the arms. We can add any movement to the neck, head. You have the luxury of being in the privacy of your own home, so you can add on, like singing in the shower when no one can hear you. You know, add on anything that you feel. For the hell of it, you just feel like your body's encouraging you. You feel like opening. We're in the last few moments of this, loosely calling it the Pilates 100, but we're just sharing a moment, rhythmic movement, calming the body down. Control stress on the body, particularly on your core. I think I can't stretch this out any longer. You've done amazingly well. Feet on the floor, take the arms overhead and take a yummy full body stretch. Flare the ribs, arch the spine here. Spread the toes, spread the fingers and circle out the wrists. Circle out the ankles, so if you separate the ankles, roll the toes in, up to the face, little toes out wide, and then point. Again in this direction. And then in the other direction, pointing the toes forwards, out, up. When you're ready, hug the knees into the chest, have a little rock on the spine. And then it's time to enjoy the sun. And